Russian paratroopers are advancing from the right and left flanks.
June 24th, 2023. A private army turned its guns on the Russian state, not Ukraine, NATO, but Wagner, Russia's most feared mercenary force, marched toward Moscow. And for 24 hours, the world watched a nuclear superpower teeter on the edge of civil war. The Wagner Group wasn't just any militia. It was Russia's secret weapon, fighting wars the Kremlin couldn't admit to. From Syria to Africa to the trenches of Ukraine, Wagner was Putin's blunt instrument, led by Yevgeny Prigozhin, a former convict, a loud critic, and once Putin's personal caterer. But Prigozhin wasn't just fighting battles. He was waging war on Russia's own military leadership. He accused top generals Shoigu and Gerasimov of lying, of corruption, of failing Russian troops. And then he claimed the Russian military bombed his Wagner fighters. So he snapped. He called it a march for justice. Wagner seized a Russian military headquarters in Rostov-on-Don without firing a shot. Then they began moving north toward Moscow. Russian forces stood aside. Roadblocks were set up. The Air Force was hesitant. Putin was furious. He went on television and called it a stab in the back, the most serious threat to his rule in over 2 decades. Moscow went into lockdown. Officials fled the capital. Planes were on standby. For the first time, Russia looked like it might collapse from the inside. Then, suddenly, it stopped. Just 200 kilometers from Moscow, Wagner turned around. A deal had been struck, brokered not by a Russian general, but by Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko. Prigozhin would go into exile in Belarus. Wagner would avoid punishment. The Kremlin could breathe again, but not for long. 2 months later, Prigozhin's private jet exploded midair. Everyone on board was killed. No investigation, no survivors, no doubt. The message was clear. No one defies the Kremlin and survives. But even with Prigozhin gone, the damage was done. Wagner's rebellion showed that a private army could seize cities and move on Moscow in a day, that Russia's chain of command could freeze, that Putin's grip on power was not unbreakable. It wasn't just a mutiny. It was a moment that exposed the cracks in the Russian system and proved that even strong men can bleed.